League of Legends is a game featuring over 160 unique champions to choose from, and with a roster this bloated, it's no surprise that some of these champions are fun and interesting. Without further ado, it's time to count down the top 10 best League of Legends the League of Legends champions, the top 10 best of them. We love League of Legends. Here are the top 10 best League of Legends champions.
We in medical science are well. Cancer is one of the most deadly and elusive enemies faced by man. All too often, it is that goes untreated until at last, when it is found that cancer has been present for many months. Take the case of Bert Marshall.
From all indications of this X-ray and from other observations, it seems to be confined to the stomach.
Oh, what chance do I really have, Doctor?
Mr. Marshall, I have no desire to mislead you. I'm sure you realize that recovery is not a sure thing, but if we can go through surgery as quickly as possible, I believe you have a good chance of recovery.
Well, I appreciate your being so frank with me, Dr. Swanson. I guess I don't have to tell you how I feel.
I know how you feel, but this is the time for action rather than pity. You need to have the will to be cured. Beyond that, medical science will play its part. We've learned a great deal about cancer, but a great many questions go unanswered.
It was Hippocrates, the father of medicine, who in the 4th century BC first gave the name cancer to the malady. Cancer is known to affect most plants and animals. Cancer begins as a departure from normal cell growth that is harmful and unceasing. The rapidly growing abnormal cells usually differ sufficiently from normal ones to be recognizable under the microscope. Once cancerous cells appear, they soon develop into a clump of tissue that lives at the expense of the entire body. This tissue crowds and robs nourishment from other cells, tissues, or organs. If the abnormal cells grow slowly in a limited area, they are called benign tumors. If the cells in surrounding tissue are spread to other parts of the body, they constitute a malignant tumor, one that is cancerous. Cells of malignant growths may break off and travel through the bloodstream to other parts of the body. There, they may start new cancerous growths. In hospitals and elsewhere, progress is being made in the diagnosis and treatment of cancer. Special equipment, like the X-ray fluoroscope, helps identify and locate cancers. This is the kind of instrument used to make the photograph of Mr. Marshall's stomach cancer. With a gastroscope, the doctor can look inside a patient's stomach. In research laboratories, cancers are being induced in animals so that tests and treatments may be made upon them. But despite research and improved techniques of treatment, cancer remains man's number 2 killer, second only to heart disease. Little wonder that a victim of cancer like Mr. Marshall feels depressed.
Don't worry, the doctor says. It's easy to say when you're healthy. As for me, I might as well give up. I'm no good to myself or my family now. Doctor says that 1 out of 7 has a cancer at one time or another. And it's a lot of people. Some of those folks are likely to be cancer victims now. Or possibly some of them have recovered from cancer. Yeah, but if they have recovered, they've probably discovered it earlier than I did. Oh, if only I'd gone to a doctor sooner.
Early treatment does give a higher percentage of cures. Why did Mr. Marshall wait so long?
Should have known something was wrong. That stomach distress and all. But I drifted along. Guess I was afraid to ask for medical advice. I listened to people who knew as little as I did.
Say, what's the matter with you anyway, Bird?
Oh, I don't know, Ken. It's that old stomach upset again.
Upset stomach. Why don't you take a little soda or a pill?
I don't know, Ken. I've had these pains a lot lately. You know, the other day I saw a program on TV about cancer. And one of the symptoms they mentioned is exactly the same thing I've gotten. You know, it really scares me.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Those fellows are always trying to talk people into going in to see a doctor. Go in for a checkup every year. Go in every time you get a mole on you or something. It's a lot of nonsense, this cancer business. Besides, this cancer's mostly for old people anyway. You know, I read some figures the other day that said that nobody gets cancer but old people.
I certainly shouldn't have paid attention to fellas like Ken. But I had to talk to someone, and well, I couldn't bring myself to tell the family my fears. It was only when I had the particularly bad attack that I finally went to the doctor. I remember how the doctor went into great detail with me about my past history and how he gave me a thorough examination that lasted through several visits.
We cancer specialists do make a thorough study of each patient's case. We know that many cancers can be treated successfully. Once the diagnosis is completed, using the different instruments and tests at our command, some form of therapy is begun. For some cases, X-ray treatment is an acceptable technique. The X-rays are focused on the cancerous tissue. X-rays help destroy cancerous cells. Only specially trained technicians should ever administer such treatments.
If you are, for some reason, still watching this video at this point, I guess I owe you a sort of explanation as to, like, why this is happening and, you know, what you're looking at exactly. So, basically, I originally planned to make, like, the top 10 worst and then do the top 10 best and, like, release them, like, one after the other, because, like, you know, top 10 worst, and then, like, I capitalize off of talking about the worst by then talking about the best. Like, it was in the teaser, you know, like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, you know, like, from that one book, I forget the name, or was it the worst of, never mind, it's not important. So, basically, I wanted to do top 10 worst and top 10 best, because, like, you know, they'd be, like, two separate sides of the coin or whatever, and yin and yang or something like that. But, after I made top 10 worst, which I think is, like, actually a pretty decent project, top 10 best was not manifesting, right? Because even after going through, like, multiple rewrites and trying to do anything I could to make this work, it wasn't happening, because I'm not a one trick per se, but I pretty much only play Poppy, and any other character that is not Poppy is incredibly boring, and I don't like to play them, and I have nothing positive to say. The only other characters I, like, play consistently are, like, if Poppy is banned and we need damage, I'll go Smolder, but, like, I don't really like Smolder. Like, I like his animations. I really like his design. He looks cool, but he's, like, genuinely awful to play. He's incredibly weak and not very fun, but, like, you know, he's easy, so that's a reason to play him. I also play a lot of Melio, but, like, that's whenever Poppy is banned, I go Melio, right? But I only play Melio because I like to troll with him, essentially, because he's got, like, some of the most obnoxious and spammable emotes in the game, so I like to run around the map spamming Control 3, right? But that has nothing to do with his gameplay. From a gameplay standpoint, I think he's really boring, right? His Q is the only interesting ability. The rest is really boring. So, basically, I could not do 10 champions that I liked, and I tried to do anything to make this video, like, interesting. Like, I tried to, like, do a twist where, like, I pretend to talk about the champions, and then, like, the video gets taken over, and then it becomes all about Poppy, and it's like, it was just boring. Like, no matter how I tried to make this video work, it was not going to happen. There was no way that this video was ever going to be interesting, because I don't have 10 champions that I enjoy, and I can't even pretend like I like 10 champions. I can't even, like, come up with something. I can do, like, a sentence per champion. That's how little I care about characters that are not Poppy and Melio, right? So yeah, basically the joke of the video is, oh, look, it was a subversion. They're the top 10 best. The joke is that there is no best, right? But I couldn't just end the video after that, because then it would be like 40 seconds long, and people would be like, okay, well, the joke is obviously going to be that there is no best. So I needed the video to be like 15 minutes or like 10 minutes to, like, make it look normal. So that's why you're seeing this random public domain footage in the background, because, like, you know, I needed to fill up runtime, but I also didn't want it to be just like a black screen. You're probably not listening to this right now because you definitely clicked off the video immediately when that shit started. But, like, yeah, that's why this video is the way it is. Go ahead and unsubscribe and find my address and kill me or whatever. But yeah, the next video is gonna actually be a video, because this one I failed. I failed as a creator. I'm very disappointed in myself. League of Legends is a shit game. Let me talk to you guys real quick about Pool Party Melio, though. So, you guys know Pool Party, like Zoe, like how like Zoe's got, like, the Pool Party skin. What if Melio got a Pool Party skin, but it's like an ultimate skin? So whenever he gets, like, 5 kills, he, instead of swimming trunks, he, like, upgrades to a Speedo, and at 10 kills, he takes the Speedo off.